Nuggets are 18-6. Okay, just for context, they're 18-6. They're on pace to win 62 games this year, which would be a record for the organization by 5+ games. So, Damo, Penn, Mars, Chill, as you have watched the Denver Nuggets play so far this year, do you believe that this team, they should be title favorites? If not, you just outright think they might be better than OKC when it matters to most?
No.
I mean, I'll be the first one to start. Hell no, I don't got them as title favorites. Title contenders, no. Coming out the West, I don't got them getting through the Thunder. Now, they are a great team. They are definitely way better than I expected them to be. And if anything, I'll do it. Shout out Aaron Gordon, a guy that, I'm not going to lie, for me this season, really turned it on. Keeping up with the same pace of efficiency he's always had, just a higher volume, higher production. I'm loving what I'm seeing from these guys. Definitely exceeded my expectations, but if you're not better than the Thunder, I can't say you're a title favorite.
I just think that we're looking at something different in the playoffs than we are the regular season. I think that in terms of preparing for teams in the regular season is way different than being able to prepare for a whole week for a specific team like the Denver Nuggets. And I think that they're a real problem for Oklahoma City. I think that their interior offense with Jokic, I think that that's the biggest issue for them, especially considering Denver has already shored up all the issues that they had last year. If you look at how much better Tim Hardaway has been playing this year, I think that that's been really good for them. Cam Johnson has actually joined the party. Miles and I have actually had this conversation. We were wondering when he was actually going to join the party, but he actually has joined the party. Jamal Murray wasn't great last night, but I thought that he kept the defense on their heels. I mean, Joker only missed 2 shots, right? And I think that playing off of Joker, I thought that playing off of Joker really helped not just his game, but Tim Hardaway Jr.'s game. I think it helped a lot of these guys. And I think that if they were to get, I actually have them beating Oklahoma City in a 7-game series. I feel like with this group, I feel like all the issues that they had last year of being so reliant on Joker to do everything, I think that I feel like that's been rectified. And a lot of those guys, I feel like what they've done up until this point, once they get Aaron Gordon back in the fold, because he's been out of the lineup for, I think, the last like 2 or 3 weeks. He's been out of the lineup with that groin injury. And once they get him back in the fold, I think this is going to be a team that's really going to contend in the Western Conference. I think that they're the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, man. So as everybody knows, I think I told y'all before the season started, I think if you look at the way the Nuggets are constructed at this point, I do think they're going to win the title this year. Granted, health. I think last year for me was an example that if they just have like a competent team around Jokic and Murray, I think they can beat anybody. But I also think, where Aaron Gordon, y'all, to your point, has taken this crazy step this year where I think at this point, people are kind of forgetting just how Aaron Gordon was when he started the season off this year just because of the injuries and kind of how that's taken the wind out of his sail. But he's averaging 19 and 6 this year, but he's shooting 53% from the field, 44% from 3, and 87% from the free throw line. And he's also been like obviously maybe their best defender this year as well. So I don't know, man. Like I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. Like I think the thing, Damo, that kind of takes it over the top for me this year is that like if Jamal Murray was just simply having like another Jamal Murray season, I kind of maybe would be understanding of that a little bit. But the thing is, Jamal Murray has been incredible this year, and he's been one of the best scoring guards and playmaking guards in the league this year. He's shooting 50, 44, 90 splits on the season so far, basically.
Yep. On
crazy volume. And like he's honestly, bro, like if you look at the defenders he played against too, man, like he's really like he tore up Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dyson Daniels the other day. He's gone at Ryan, Andrew Nembhard. He destroyed Andrew Nembhard in the Patriots game. I mean, he really has at this point, I think, leveled up to where no matter who's in front of him, a lot of the reason he might miss shots is simply because, he's going to miss shots. But I think something about him, he has gotten to a point where he is playing extremely confident. He's healthy as well.
So
and I think that's what the
when you get to the playoffs, Swiper, when you get to the playoffs, the thing that helps you out the most, one, is health. I think that being healthy is the biggest thing. I think that's derailed a lot of teams. So if the Denver Nuggets can stay healthy, I'm thinking about the divide between Denver and Oklahoma City at this point. Like, this is what I'm thinking about, Penn. I'm thinking about the divide between them two. Okay, guard play. I feel like Oklahoma City's guards on defense, I feel like they've been great. I don't think that they've been good. I feel like they've been nothing short of fantastic, right? I think Casey Wallace is going to be an all-league defender this year. I feel like Lou Dort is still playing at that level in terms of being in terms of being an all-league defender. I think they're great at shooting gaps. I think they're great in terms of connectivity. But my counter to that, to my own point, is Denver playing off of Joker in the multitude of ways that they play off of him, with the multitude of lineups that they play off of him. With them, I think that can cause Oklahoma City a lot of trouble. Now, when you're talking about the playoffs and then you get into the meat and potatoes of the game, Mars and I have had this conversation. It does more times than not boil down to my best player is better than your best player. Close games, and as of right now, it looks like SGA is looking like one of the best, if not the best, closer in the game. But if I'm getting into a playoff series with SGA and Joker, and we get into the meat and potatoes of the game, I'm not betting against Joker. I'm not.
So can I ask? So you have the Denver Nuggets as the only team that is a real threat to the Thunder. So no one else.
I like Houston too, Damo. I like Houston too. I think Houston's going to get him some trouble. I think San Antonio can get him some trouble too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Those are the two teams that I'm.
So when we're looking at the Western Conference previews, I actually had the Denver Nuggets beating the OKC Thunder in the preseason. Last year, I had the OKC Thunder going all the way. This year, I thought there's no repeat champions. It's really hard. 82 games. They're going to burn out. I have seen a team that has come out with intensity like they lost, and I cannot deny what I'm watching. SGA's jump has been tremendous. He's a better passer. He's a better shooter. I think whatever gap there was between him and Yoke last year, I think he's closed that gap. I think we can have a discussion of who the best player in the world is right now. And that's not something I was expecting to say. Quite frankly, even when I was heaping glaze on SGA a year ago, I didn't think I would be having this conversation. So that being said, Shea's playing with better teams. He's playing with a better team, and he's close to as good a player. And this is a hungrier team. And I think the Denver Nuggets have been a little bit disappointing. Now, I don't want to hold their 18th ranked defense. Sorry, what did I say? Did I trigger
keep
you?
going? Keep going.
They're having their best. They're literally having. By the way, just for context, this is the best start they've had in the history of their franchise, ever. Never started 18. They've never started this well. In Damo, this is in the 80s with English in the Western Conference run versus the Lakers. This is with the Melo years. They've never started the season.
Well, you know what I'm about to ask you? Strength of schedule. How difficult has their start of the season been? Because if you tell me they're beating bums, then I'm not going to care.
Well, no, the reason why it matters though is because that conversation is about. So when you look at the strength of schedule across the board for all the teams that are good, OKC has the easiest strength of schedule in the league, so it's a minus 2.4. Denver has the second easiest, it's a minus 1.6. Minnesota second easiest, minus 1.6. New York the fourth easiest, minus 1.5. And then you got Detroit. So Detroit 19-5, Knicks 17-7, Minnesota 15-9, Denver 18-6, OKC 24-1. And mind you, Damo, remember the teams that Denver's lost to this year. Denver has only lost to teams that are worse than them. Like they have multiple losses to below 500 teams. So some of this is like when they play good teams, they're beating them. But then when they play these bad teams, for whatever reason, they don't show up. They play Houston twice in the next 3 games, and they play the Magic.
Who are these good teams that Denver has beat?
For the record, Mars, the 2008-2009 Denver Nuggets, they started 18-6.
So they beat. Okay, let's just recap this real quick. They beat Phoenix, second game of the season. They beat Minnesota. They beat New Orleans. That's a terrible team. They beat Sacramento, terrible team. They beat Miami. That's a pretty good team. They beat Golden State. That's a pretty good team. Indiana's a bad team. Sacramento's a bad team. Los Angeles Clippers are a bad team. Then they beat the Minnesota Timberwolves again. Then they beat the New Orleans Pelicans. Then they beat the Houston Rockets. Again, that's a good team. Memphis, bad. Phoenix, good. And then the last 4 games have been against Atlanta, Indiana, Charlotte, Sacramento. 3 of those teams are bad. So, like, what are we doing?
Can I ask the 6 losses also? Who are the 6 losses?
The 6 losses were incredible because, Damo, I'm glad you asked that because, honestly, this is why I'm off the Nuggets train. And I understand, Swipe, that's very difficult for you to understand right now because I understand y'all are missing Aaron Gordon, and he's huge for your defense. With Aaron Gordon, y'all are really good defense.
Yeah,
Christian Brown, 2 really good defenders in your starting lineup are missing. And I understand you're integrating Cam Johnson, and he didn't look right away. And I understand you're implementing Jonas Valanciunas and a whole bunch of bench pieces. So I think that this will look a lot better in a couple months. And in a couple months, I'll change my mind if it looks better.
Who have they lost to?
They lost to the Chicago Bulls on the second night of a back-to-back. It was probably the biggest upset of the season. I don't even think that's hyperbole. That is literally
to the Kings on the second night of a back-to-back too. So,
Swiper, this isn't the best start in the history of your franchise, neither, by the way, because the 84-85 Nuggets, they only lost 5 games through 23 games, and in the 78 team that went to the Western Conference Championship, they started 18-6 too.
Damn, Chill, you schooling him on Nuggets history?
Thank you for fact checking. Thank you. I love the fact check.
That's good fact check. Good fact check. Yeah, I was not aware of the 83 team, whatever it was.
Yes,
just
lazy.
It was before Swiper was alive, so it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. True. That's fair.
Mm-hmm. I understand though, but here's the thing. I think what happens is Joker gives you such an advantage, just having Joker on your team, and the idea that you can beat anybody. I mean, I feel like it gets enhanced just off the strength that you have Joker. But Penn, you were making a point about you were making a point before you got.
I think the health thing concerns me. Jamal Murray has been very healthy to start this season. Now, I believe you are what you consistently practice, and Jamal Murray typically eases into seasons. To borrow the Kawhi Leonard, soliloquy that Mars went on last year about, starting the season kind of midway through so that you're peaking at the playoffs.
Yep.
I wonder if Jamal Murray is going to break down at some point, because again, he is obviously playing a lot more and playing, consistently. And I'm just curious, is this
so basically you're saying injuries will be the thing that bring them down?
But Penn, can we agree that this is probably, since the championship run, or even in the bubble, this is the healthiest that Jamal Murray has been?
He looks great, Joe.
Yeah, I think this is awesome. I think this is the healthiest that he's been, and that's why I'm such a big fan of what's going on in Denver right now.
It's the best Aaron Gordon's looked in his entire career, to be clear. And I was looking at like how he became a better shooter. It's a very interesting exploration in speed shooting that he was talking about on a podcast with Cam Johnson. It was like he just does everything like at 180% speed right now, and that's what's made him a better shooter. It's awesome. This is the best he's looked. It's the best Murray's looked. It's probably the best Jokic has looked, if I'm being honest. Like this is the best their 3 best players have looked, and I don't know. It's weird. I want to say in any other year, this is a championship favorite. I just think what I'm seeing with OKC is different. I think it's a different level.
Mars, can I ask you, just based off what you've seen with Jokic and his, playoff performances since winning a championship, how do you feel about the glaze that he's getting and the faith that everyone has in him to still be a title favorite?
I think it's funny he's viewed as impenetrable when Alex Caruso. I don't know what's I feel like it's kind of cool that Game 7 situation. Oh yeah, Jokic. It's like, I just watched the Timberwolves beat Jokic. I just watched the Thunder beat Jokic. But he's like the boogeyman or something. I don't know. But it's cool, I guess. Shout out to him for having all this faith from people.
Is it him, Mars, more than it is? Is it him?
It's him.
What this is what I'm saying.
No, it says Jokic, the title favorite, and it was like that was like Jokic on the Thunder.
What I was thinking is it Joker more than it is? Because I can't forget what happened against Minnesota in Game 7. I can't forget that. Right. I think that has a lot to do with what's going on. But because it's Joker, is it more? If he can get this much more, he's in business, as opposed to what he's got right now, where we are. This is probably the best team that he's been on since they won the championship. Is that fair?
Is this better than the team?
I think this team is better, to be honest with you.
It is, but the field is better too. But the field is better too.
How much of the field, though, Penn? Like when we talk about the field, like how much of the field is better when you think about the field? Like because
they don't give out participation, Larry Obese. They don't give out second place and third place.
That's a fact. I'm not gonna argue that. Sure.
You know what? When KD went to the Warriors, that's 3 years. Peace. Good luck. Right? When LeBron went to the Heat, that's 4 years. This OKC team, this San Antonio team coming up, you better win a championship right now because you ain't winning one for the next 10 years. So, shout outs to Anthony Edwards. They're going to build some really, really competitive teams out there, in the West. There's some young teams that I'm excited about, but y'all going to have to wait your turn. There is a 72-73 win team. Do you realize at this point the OKC Thunder finishing with 70 wins would be a disappointment? You understand, like,
I do realize that,
the mind.
Well, because they're 24-1, so they would have to take
be disappointed a team with 70 games.
I'm about to say, who's disappointed though?
Yeah, they win 70 games.
Considering what the expectations were, Damo, you look at this group right now.
The expectations
for
the
number
season,
one seed wrapped up by January. Like everything else is.
I'm about to say
they haven't been healthy, Damo.
That's absolutely fine, but
That's another reason why 70 wins wouldn't be disappointed.
And no one's expectations going into the season was break the Warriors record. No one's expectations was 80 wins, 75 wins. That was not the expectation. It was just be dominant, and they're being dominant.
Yo, speak for yourself. I wanted 82 wins. Okay.
Well, what is
anything less than 82?
Well, Damo, what does be dominant mean? I mean, we're coming off an NBA championship. We won 68 games last season. And there were people who thought that they could eclipse what they had done last year. I mean, this is a team that was rolling. They had, I think, the best net rating in NBA history. They had, in terms of defense,
a lot of people thought they were going to take a step back. Vegas had their over-under at 64.
But you know how Vegas works with that, though? Like, that's not even...
How does that work?
Yeah, so Vegas... taking a 64-win team, so expecting regression from a 68-win profile. Typically, teams don't come back. Now, the Warriors of previous year, before they won 73, I think it was 65 games they won. They won 65?
Sure.
Is that the number it was?
67.
67? So then it was 73, and then it went back to 67 the next year. So they had 63 or 60, 67. They had 73. They got Kevin Durant, in which they were a better basketball team, but then they took a step back and they won less games. So Vegas has to build in like buffers, because if you set the line at 69, 90% of the money is going to get to, it's going to go under. So then there's just no way for them to win that. But if Vegas sets the line at 64 or whatever the number was, then you can get people playing on both ends of that and the over under. But then now you're building into also health. Remember, SGA he played 79 games last year, like prolific health from your best player. So some of that is like most players don't repeat 75 plus win, like, or 75 plus game seasons. SGA's on track to do that currently right now, though.
Star players do.
Well, the thing is that SGA, like, he trains in the off season to play 100 games a year. That's what he's talked about a lot. He's like, I train for the season I'm about to play. So a lot of dudes, they might train for like 82 games, and then they get into the second round of the playoffs. They're like, shit, this is past what I trained for. Lucas talked about that before too. Anthony Edwards has talked about that too. A lot of dudes hit a wall in the playoffs because they just were not expecting to play high intensity basketball in May. But that's kind of where we're at right now with SGA. I think he has kind of come into this season with a goal that I'm going to be the best player in the world, and this is going to be the best team in the world. There was a chill. It was an eerie feeling. He was approaching a car by like one of those TMZ cameras, and they were just like, I want to let y'all know the OKC Thunder are here. We ain't going nowhere. Y'all get comfortable with it. Good luck.
They look like a group that's going to be around for a while. But
Chill, it gave me MJ in 91 vibes.
It's actually giving
it really did.
Hey, Penn, I do think you are setting up such a high bar that if he again doesn't meet that in the playoffs for yet another time, then it's going to be another nasty combo. In part
we do the same thing.
But you know what the thing is,
Don't we do the same thing for Joker?
We don't do the same thing.
No.
I think to his standard in the playoffs. He's still
the difference is, though, Mark, I personally don't know what Mars is talking about. I think there's multiple people, including the entirety of the chat, that is calling Jokic a Jokic or flame out or a
very
bum.
Different platform to the consensus.
But even in the NBA, just to be clear, so if you go on NBA Twitter or whatever else, most people are anti Jokic having this standing in the league. So I think this idea that there somehow isn't a crowd, there's an entire crowd of people in the chat right now, every time you bring Jokic up, saying he's overrated. Like literally just 90% of the people in the chat saying he's overrated, saying he is a choker in Game 7. Without the context of, because of you, without the context of in Game 7, 2 years ago, 34-19-7, nobody in the game except for him and Murray scored over 7 points in that game. If that was any other player historically, you would bring those things up because that matters. Like you have to have people around you that play well. Or last year they had 3 healthy players versus OKC in Game 7. That did matter. That's a part of the context.
Them, right?
Do you think
yes,
him like
and
Jokic
Jamal Murray had the worst game than anybody else in that game. But again, it's the way that things are talked about. So I do think it matters that this year, if they're healthy, I do think the energy will be different from the team overall. And I think the team is much better this year. And to the point is, if You look at where Jamal is, and I think Jonas Valanciunas, who we're not talking about at all for the season, he was 7-7 yesterday. He's having a really good season.
Great.
Like off the bench, and it matters. He's going to play in an OKC series because you need side to play against OKC. Like he's a really good player, and I think them having more options now. And if you haven't checked, Peyton Watson, since he stepped into the starting lineup, is shooting 52% from the field, 42% from three, 70% from the free throw line. He's playing super well. Cam Johnson's playing well. Like they just have a different infrastructure.
Right, but it sounds to me.
You really think Jonas Valanciunas is playable?
Yeah, he's going to play.
Yes.
He's going to play.
I think he is going to get, to borrow the term,
he's going to play in the
West
playoffs.
Coast people.
I know, but Penn, I'm telling you,
he's going to get mollywopped.
I'm telling you,
he's going to be unplayable against OKC.
based on how you play versus OKC, you have to play big inside.
Yes,
he is going to play.
It was unplayable when he played in New Orleans when they played them in the playoffs. That happened.
Well, but remember he had
the good old. You guys told me he'll Billy chat.
Too slow.
But
I did. I 100% said that, Moss. Yes, I did.
Right. Wasn't he good in the playing or something like that though?
Shea is never going to have easier shots in his life than Jokic in drop coverage.
Why would you play drop? Why would you play drop?
They're just going to run.
Sorry, I said Jokic. I meant Valanciunas.
It's the same thing, but they're just gonna run that cute little zone.
The
Keep that big net. They are. They're not gonna put. They're gonna play drop. They're just gonna run that little zone. Christian Brown go fight.
Mars, for real. Is Jokic a better defender than Jonas Valanciunas?
Sure, but like once again, even with Jokic,
it's good. It's good.
We
don't have to talk about Jokic's defense as much. We can talk about Jonas' defense now.
But Swiper, everything that you just said sounds to me like, yo, okay, we set up to do it. There should be no excuses this season.
No, it's not. I don't think
none of that.
A football breakdown. Like. This is what I mean. He's constantly glazing. So what I'm talking about, and also, by the way, I don't think y'all understand how bad it is. That's why when Mars says what he says, maybe I'd speak from my own perspective. When I do post-game videos, it's everywhere. Like, so there are plenty of people that are constantly on this Jokic train of how he is overrated. So I do think this idea that he's like protected is also ridiculous. And that's why I said what I said yesterday. I think at this point he's having an underrated season because I think people are so used to what he's doing, they're just kind of like, oh, it's whatever. Like you underrate what he's doing. Swipe. No, but I'm saying like, it is.
People just troll you.
No, for sure. But it's not just about.
I mean?
It's not just here though, Penn. Respectfully, it's not just.
No, I understand that, but your platform is pretty huge, and you put Jokic and Gretzky conversations, which pissed off a lot of people.
That's fine, but like, I think at some level
there was a census amongst NBA fans. 70% would say Jokic is the best player in the world.
Look, one of my biggest videos on my channel, because I don't have people hating on me for Jokic glaze. I have people hating on me for Scotty Barnes glaze. Right?
There's multiple people talking right now. What did you say? Mars was talking. You were talking. Go ahead.
I was just saying that like he's still seen as the best player in the world by the majority. That's what he's seen as. So, like, yeah, he's going to have people who downplay him, diminish him, whatever. Like, no one would have ever had unanimous approval ratings. If you go back to, like, even peak LeBron, I guarantee he would have probably had, like, 90% of the vote. But there would have been the Kevin Durant clan trying to say he's better than LeBron. 2016, it probably would have been, like, 70-30, with 30% saying Steph is better than LeBron. Like, no matter who you are, you're never going to get 100% approval.
But what more criticism?
But Jokic is a very strong majority best player in the world.
But what more negativity would you like to be seen thrown his way other than what is thrown?
I'm not asking for more negativity.
More criticism. I'm saying more criticism.
I'm not even asking for more criticism.
But you just said that there's not enough criticism.
The best player in the world.
But you said there's not enough criticism though. Earlier,
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay. But Swipe it, like my point was that one of my most popular videos is actually a Jokic video on my channel. It has like I think like 1.5 million views or something. The top comments are so freaking positive, man. There's a comment with like 9,000 likes. Like, I aspire to be the dad that Jokic is. Damn, real man. Being a father is the most important job. So Jokic is awesome. Jokic is different from 99% of players. He's my favorite player. Can't help but like Jokic. He puts basketball into perspective. I mean, let me see. Like, did someone say it was a spiritual experience?
What year did this video come out?
2 years ago.
What like when did that happen? Right after the title?
No. I mean, sorry. I did I undersell myself here? 3 million views. My bad. I undersold myself by a good 1.5 million. No, May 2023.
So right before they won the title.
Okay, but I'm seeing comments till today.
No, I know, but like it's a Jokic video for the best player. Like, yeah.
No, what I'm saying is you get a very different Jokic perspective because you cover Jokic as a Denver Nuggets super fan. and you come up here and you talk about Jokic.
This is what I'm saying. No, call me what I am. I work at NBA media. I cover the Denver Nuggets professionally, and I work in doing this space every day. I cover all 30 NBA teams, and I spend every practice. I cover every practice, every dribble, every game.
Like you don't talk about.
That is what it is, though. That's my.
I mean, I thought I did call you what you are.
No,
but
sure,
yes,
but that is my job.
That's
it is quite literally my. It is quite literally my job to talk about this team every single day. Like that's so.
Would you talk about this team if it wasn't your job? Would you do this if it wasn't your job?
No, because I wasn't even working in the media space. No, it wasn't even happening. Like I didn't.
How did you get the job then?
Well, it started because I wanted to do it. So then I created the platform to do it. That's what happened.
That was wanted to watch Denver Nuggets every day.
Well, but then there was multiple reasons. There at the time in 2020, just to give you some backstory, Jordan, because I think I told you this offline before. December. Yeah. This was when COVID was at its peak. There were not any black people covering the team for the most part at all, in any way, shape, or form. No former athletes. So I then said, let me take my 10 years of public speaking and go make a channel and then start covering the team to get more representation in 2020. And then it blew up. So it wasn't even like it intentionally. It started to be that way. It just started that way.
So there was a time where you were doing this before it was your job, when it was just a hobby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
That would make you a super fan, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. That would make you would
qualify. I don't know what's wrong
with
being a super fan.
There's nothing wrong with being a super fan.
I mean, it's just for me.
Damo is a super fan of the Lakers. Damo is a super fan.
I was say he hated the team. I'm about to say I feel like I'm a super fan of the NBA. Of the Lakers, I feel like I'm a fan. You know,
I'm clearly the biggest super fan up here. I have no bias and no teams, none at all. Despite my
biggest super fan.
Yeah,
by the way, we got a $50 super chat.
Always a bias.
Want to give a $50 super chat. This is from Uncle Dad. $50 super chat. Yo, Ron, you foul as hell for the title of the show. I cannot wait until OKC beats the Nuggets in 5 games. Why? Are you OKC fan?
Away to see.
Why are you gonna blame Ron for the title?
Because he did come up with the title.
Ron makes the titles. Ron makes the titles.
Ron came up with the title. Decided Swiper was going to be the host. Decided me, Jordan, and Damo were going to be up here, and it's probably sitting there somewhere laughing.
Well, it's probably retroactively. We talked about OKC yesterday, and then they talked about the Nuggets the next day.
Okay.
With the Swiper, with the personnel that Denver now has, right? With having Bruce Brown, with having Cam Johnson, with having Tim Hardaway, with having Valanciunas. How do you beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, in your estimation? What do you think?
You can't turn the ball over. I think that's probably the biggest thing. You turn the ball over, you lose.
Pray.
That's why we short up the guard. That's why we short up the guard spot.
Prayer is good.
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to not turn the ball over. I think a lot of this is like scoring efficiently, which is, the Nuggets went 6-5 versus them last year, like over the course of the whole season, and in the games that they beat them, they scored very well and they defended very well. But I think the problem is when you start getting the ball up on the other end and you start rushing shots, or let's say Jokic starts throwing turnover passes and Jamal starts doing whatever, then you start giving them the leeway to go on those runs. Like you have to beat them in the half court. That's kind of how like the Nuggets at least beat OKC, is they beat them in the half court and you play efficiently and you don't turn the ball over. I think that would be the biggest thing.
And with that, with being able to take care of the basketball, and now having the shooters around you, having Cam Johnson around you, having Tim Hardaway Jr. around you, especially the relocators that they are, I think that now collapses the Oklahoma City defense, because I think that with Chet playing one-on-one, I think that they'll have Chet playing one-on-one for a time. I don't think that they're going to leave Chet one-on-one with Joker for the entirety of the game. I don't think that that's going to happen, because I think that that's a bad plan.
Well, Chill, what do y'all mean when y'all say you can't turn the ball over on OKC? I think that's clearly a lot easier.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that question.
It's not their choice. I don't think they.
If you're gonna bank on that, I think you're gonna lose.
Okay, Jordan. If you're a coach, how do you do it? How do you game plan against Jokic with this current OKC?
Against Jokic?
Yeah, against the Denver Nuggets. Like because he's got better personnel this year, right? So how do you, as a coach, what do you do? Like, what's your 3-point bullet plan to stop Jokic, Murray, and all these shooters and the depth that they got? If you're okay,
number one, you're not going to be able to stop Jokic. That's number one. But number two, you can't slow him down. You can't slow him down to a sense to where you got to adjust the game plans. Like obviously, if he's scoring 30 straight, you probably need to send a double. Number two, you have to be very meticulous about what you do off the ball. Like you got to have rules and principles. Like we can't allow easy high-low actions for Jokic. So we know that the Nuggets like to run that low action where Jokic catch the ball at the top of the key. First thing he wants to see if he has a high-low action. We got to front that post. We got to add more ball pressure on Jokic. We can't let him pick you apart. Like, we have to make Jokic put his head down, and we got to either force him to drive, which is fine. Like, I know some people are like, well, he's a good passer out of drive rate. Sure. Force him to drive. Force him to put his head down.
Where do you want to see him catch the ball? You want to see him catch the ball like a little bit like above the nail, or are you allowing him to get deep seals?
I'm making every. I'm definitely not gonna allow him to get a deep seal, but I'm making every catch for Jokic extremely hard. Like, it's not about where I want him to catch it. It's how I want him to catch it. I want him to catch it under duress, and that's what the Thunder did to him last year. Like, they made every single time he caught the ball difficult for him. So by the time he caught it, now the shot clock is winding down. Now they got principles off the ball, and now some of those passes and those first options are slowly taken away because the shot clock's winding down. Now you got to deal with 8, 7, 6, 5, and then now Jokic.
But did they know Jordan?
Late in the shot clock, huh?
Did they make it difficult on him? Like those games that I saw when Joker went 40, 15, 40, and 12.
They made it very difficult for him.
Did they make it difficult on him? Because it looked like it was a lot of one-on-one coverage.
Did you not see Alex Caruso? What?
That's what I'm talking about.
It just wasn't difficult for him.
A lot of that mid-post stuff that was going on, a lot of that mid-post stuff and that mid-range stuff that was going on with Joker, that stuff did not look nearly as difficult.
I think it was difficult. I don't think that's what
he had the ball in the box and he was getting swarmed. Those two things aren't the same thing. When he had the ball in the box and he was in one dribble, two dribbles, three dribbles, and he's getting swarmed, as opposed to when he was in the mid post and he was one-on-one because he got switched on with Alex Caruso. When he was at the nail, he was at the mid-range with Alex Caruso. That didn't look nearly as difficult.
But did you see how difficult it was for him to even get the ball to him?
I was just about to say that. Did you see how difficult it was for him to get position right there with Alex Caruso being the one guarding him? Off ball. You're talking about when he finally got the ball and it's 8 seconds on the shot clock because they've been wasting 14 to get him position because Alex is fighting him the entire possession. Multiple possessions.
I just it looked to me like it was more difficult when he was on the box, like whether he was on that right box or he was on that left box. When he was down there fighting with Alex Caruso, as opposed to when he's setting cross screens for Jamal Murray and then flashing to the basketball. Even with Alex Caruso,
but when they double Jamal coming off those screens, then they rotate over. That pass become a lot more difficult than you think it do. And Jokic is a methodical player. Like, Jokic operates very good early in the shot clock. Like, if it's early in the shot clock, he picking you apart. Now when it's late in the shot clock, it's not a Jokic thing, it's more of a Denver team thing. Late in the shot clock, now those opportunities to do whatever strategy Denver has on offense kind of slows down a little bit because the shot clock is winding down. So now you kind of force Jokic to be a scorer late. And that's why I said you want to force him to drive. You want to make every catch difficult and you want to force him to drive late so he don't get those easy pick you apart passes. Like, I mean, Jokic is a great player. You're not going to stop him, but you got to have something. You got to have a baseline on what you want to do. And I think the Thunder had a really good baseline on it last year. But, I mean, also it was health. It was a lot of – it come down to making missed shots. Like, when I was just talking about turnovers. Like, when we were talking about turnovers with the Thunder, like, well, you can't turn the ball over. Well, you're going to turn the ball over. That's number one. You're going to turn the ball over. It just comes down to, can you make shots?
I think it's the live ball middle of the floor turnovers, Jordan. It's like the throws over the middle of the floor, like that lead to easy run out.
And you can't take bad shots. Like I was watching, and that game was out of reach. Who they played the other night? They beat the crap out. Oh, the Suns. I watched to close the quarter, to close the half. OKC come down and take 2 great shots. They get exactly what they want. They get a post up from Chet, and then I think Casey Wallace, no, it wasn't Casey Wallace. Lou Dort hit a 3 or something like that. I can't remember. But it was 2 perfect shots. They got what they want. And then the Suns come down and jack 2 badass shots. Mind you, you're already down 22, 23. You jack 2 badass shots, you're down 30. Like, what would make you think because I'm down a lot, I could take bad shots and they just gonna let you off the hook? That's a recipe for getting your ass.
No, I don't think anybody thinks that. But to your point, because you had asked the question earlier about how are we not going to turn the ball over? Like, so early in the shot clock, if we could get good looks against Oklahoma City, we got to take advantage of those. So if I could get Jamal Murray open, right? That
might not be the right way.
If we're playing fast, like I
don't know if you want to play fast against them though.
I do. Well, here's the thing: I'm going to have to play fast because Oklahoma City is going to speed the game up. So I'm going to have to play fast. I'm not going to play fast the whole game. No, I'm not gonna outrun them. Let's
But that's why OKC struggles with Denver, though. I think it needs to be said
they
that
slow it down.
they slow them down. They don't.
Yeah.
That's why they beat them more than anybody else. It's like they play a lot, but the reason it was like split 6-5 last year is because when they make you play in the half court, Denver is very hard to beat. But that goes to my turnovers, Jordan. Like it's just like if you're doing this nonsense and then Jokic or Murray, they throw that behind that head pass.
Yeah.
It gets tipped, and the next thing you know, we got runouts from Dub and Caruso. You lose.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the chat throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops all hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.